Animal shelters are an essential service to the communities they serve. The Amory Humane Society has struggled ever since it was hit by an EF3 tornado back in March of 2023. Over the past year, fundraising efforts have been essential. Our Caleb Green went to their Santa Paws fundraising event to learn what the plan is for the organization moving forward.
The Amory Humane Society has had its share of hardships: overcrowding, underfunding, and even a tornado that wrecked its previous facility. But now they're trying something different to keep their doors open and help animals in need. The mission of the Humane Society is to help as many animals as they possibly can through programs like sheltering, spaying and neutering, and providing monetary assistance to families who temporarily can't provide for their animals. But that mission is under threat as their economic stability hangs in the balance. Like many animal shelters in the Southeast, the Amory Humane Society is having to shutter its doors due to a lack of funding and an influx of animals. The nonprofit organization has contracted with the city of Amory to take in every animal the city's animal control brings them. The current contract gives the shelter $55,000 a year, which they say isn't enough to keep up with the demand they're seeing. Closing their shelter is a devastating loss to the area, says Leanne Hubbard, the Humane Society's secretary-treasurer.
That's a huge, huge blow to this area. We're one of very few rescue operations remaining in this area, and it's going to be really bad out there for animals and for the people who have them dumped on their property and who can't afford to keep their own animals and things like that.
Not knowing what's going to happen, where they're going to go, where they're going to be, if they're going to suffer. But I feel like starting over fresh at the grassroots of the issue and trying to educate and help the community and understanding what needs to be done to fix the problem.
The EF3 tornado, which hit Amory in March of 2023, exacerbated the issues the shelter was already facing, but it also made them get creative with how they can help animals in need. With the lack of a place for the animals to go, the shelter began distributing animals to organizations around the country who have high adoption rates. The model is part of how they plan to continue moving forward. The Humane Society will continue to focus on spaying and neutering and helping in other ways, but they will no longer have a physical shelter. Instead, it will rely on local fostering and taking animals out of state. Hubbard shares why everyone at the Humane Society is still working to help animals, despite all the hardships.
The animals need us. Who else is going to do it? We know that people care, and we see that every time we ask for help. But it's a passion, it's a drive, it's in our hearts to help make life better for animals around here.
22 years of experience, it's turned into a lifetime of rescue, saving as many as you can, as often as you can, and not leaving anybody behind.
The shelter says it has increased its intake 35% in 2 years, but has been able to keep its no-kill status through hard work and the support of people who care. The Humane Society is open to creative new ideas from the city or contracts from other municipalities, but for now it will lean on the community for help. Misty Daniels, the executive director of the Humane Society, says she hopes that one day they'll be able to have a shelter again.
We still get more animals every year, and that's not fixing the problem or the solution. So it makes me very emotional and devastated knowing that we're going to have to say no, but eventually we won't have to say no.
But what we can always remember is that each one of us can do one thing. We can do something. And we will all add up to a vast army of creating something wonderful and life-changing. We just have to keep going. Stay with us. Stick with us.
The Amory Humane Society says you can help by donating money and supplies at amory.shelter.com. Telling your story in Amory, Caleb Green, WCBI News.
The Amory Humane Society says their phone number and website will remain the same for anyone who needs the assistance of their organization.